Sup, sunshines, or I got the mic. Today we are going to Salem, the town of mysteries and witches, with quite intriguing game called Murdered Soul Suspect. Let's dive in. Starting off strong with a short brief of what's going on in the town. The whole town is terrified because there is a serial killer circling around and killing innocent people. Then we see the protagonist falling out of the window with flashbacks of his life. Name of this handsome guy is Ronan O'Connor, and eventually he survives falling off the fourth floor. Or does he? Because in worthless attempt to open the door, Ronan gets knocked back by the old lady and sees his own body still laying on the ground. Then Ronan tries to get back into himself, whatever it means. But the serial killer appears out of thin air and finishes the unfinished. Ronan is officially a dead man now, and I haven't put a single main character death joke, so you should be thankful. Anyways, now Ronan sees the light at the end of the tunnel, and hears the voice of his deceased wife, Julia, and even meets her, but not for long. Julia says that Ronan must finish something before they finally be together again, and this something is finding the serial killer called Bell Killer. So that's what we are going to do with Ronan. After Julia's disappearance, Ronan tries to talk to people gathered near his body, but they don't react on ghosts. At this moment, Ronan sees another fallen soul and follows her. That's Abigail. Looks like she's been here for a while, and she teaches Ronan some things about this afterlife stuff, but not very enthusiastic. When Ronan returns to his body, the police has already arrived, and we see some rude detective mocks Ronan. The protagonist tries to inflame him with a cig, but ghostly secret is not flammable enough, though this rude detective named Baxter instantly gets punished by another police officer, Rex, the brother-in-law of our Ronan. Rex is kinda cool guy, not gonna lie. He even presses F to pay respects towards Ronan. And here the game finally starts. First things first, Ronan needs to find some traces to the killer. There's also a quick tutorial about what we can do in the afterlife. For example, possess into people, mind read, influence their memory, etc. As soon as Ronan examines all the evidence outside, he concludes that Bell Killer has come here for a reason, and that reason is upstairs. So there's where we're going. Approaching to the fourth floor, Ronan sees Abigail again. She's drawing something, but as soon as she sees Ronan, she makes her drawings disappear. Though Ronan is not that simple, and somehow he makes them appear again, which is making Abigail pissed, so she says some polite words to him. At the final stairs, Ronan meets his first afterlife enemy, the demon. Demons will be here and there for the rest of the game, but dealing with them is kinda easy, because they're genuinely stupid. And also they're easy to defeat just by pressing 3 buttons. After Ronan has investigated all the evidence, he concludes that killer has come here after a girl. But that's the only clue, so now Ronan should follow the trail to find the girl, and from the evidence it's clear that girl went to the church. In the church we learn a new feature. Ronan can possess a cat and control it, so we could play as cat way before Stray has been released. Anyway, with a little help of a new tiny friend, Ronan manages to get up to the attic where we find the girl. But turns out it's not just a regular girl. When Ronan tries to possess her, she kicks him out herself and threatens him. Yep, she's a medium.
Holy shit. You're a medium.
She can see ghosts and talk to them, though she doesn't seem very happy to help. Moreover, she refuses to help Ronan in his investigation, though she agrees to answer some questions in gratitude for saving her life by Ronan's self-sacrifice. And she did. She answered some questions, told Ronan about her mom who's working with cops on Bell Killer case, but as soon as she found keys, she left. And she stunned Ronan with powerful scream. When Ronan leaves the church, the girl is already vanished. Where could she go? Ronan remembers their conversation about girl's mom. Her mom had left a note in which she asked the girl to find her profile book in the police station. So based on this, Ronan decides that the girl is headed to the police station. So back to workplace. Ronan finds it strange returning here as a ghost, but it is what it is. Firstly, he steps into Bell Killer War Room, the room with every docs about the case and all the evidence. Here Ronan finds a lot of information about the murders, but most valuable for him now that one of the Bell Killer's victims has actually survived and is now in custody. After War Room, Ronan comes to the morgue, where he sees himself under the scrutiny of coroners. Tough US for me. In other section, Ronan finally finds the girl sitting in an interrogation room. The protagonist helps the girl escape by using his ghost abilities. Firstly, he turns down the camera, then makes coffee machine run, the printer print, and finally, they both manage to get to the right office. Detective Baxter's office. The girl's mom has been working with Baxter, so the book must be somewhere in his place of work. And here it is, right behind the gun rack. The girl accidentally drops the book as they are going to leave, and Ronan sees some advertisement of museum where is going to be exhibition of history of Salem. But now we don't have time to think about it, cause cops have noticed the absence of the girl. Here comes another pack of tricks with printers and stuff to make free way for the girl, and right after that the girl decides to leave Ronan behind. Again. But Ronan is fast as fuck, boy! So he catches up the girl on the street and persuades her to partnership in finding Bell Killer. In the book, the cemetery murder was mentioned, which cops don't link to Bell Killer case, but the girl's mom linked. And Ronan thinks there might be some evidence, so our not so massive gang is now headed to the Ashland Hills Cemetery. Here we finally find out the girl's name, Joy. And in the end of the cutscene, we see Abigail in the background for some reason. On the entrance in the graveyard, Ronan meets a creepy girl ghost who disappears instantly as soon as Ronan greets her. Then, after exchanging a few words with more friendly ghosts in the cemetery, the protagonist finds Joy standing near a grave with a flashlight and searching for something. She can't find anything here, so Ronan decides to help and he does find clues. The rope, if being precise. The exact same rope that was used to murder part of previous Bell Killer victims. From the flashback, Ronan sees that victim's body has drifted from upriver. When Ronan tells about it Joy, she says that Ronan can ask the victim herself about the murder, and turns out that the victim is that creepy ghost who were watching protagonist from the very arriving to the cemetery. And she's spying on the characters right now, but as soon as they noticed her, she runs away. And in that not so good timing, demons appear, so now Ronan should fight them at the first place. After Ronan defeats all the demons and catches up the ghost girl, he tries to talk to her, but she teleports on the other part of destroyed house and continues running. Ronan gets pissed off cause why the hell everyone can TP but him? And now he can teleport as well because why not? While Ronan follows the girl ghost, he kills another stack of demons, eavesdrops some conversations along the way, and finally reaches the girl ghost near big tree. Ronan asks the girl who killed her, and the girl starts pointing at him. At his police badge, if being precise. Then she points on a tree and shows Ronan her memories of the murder. Bellkiller hangs her on a chair and put her in the river. Cruel method and painful memories to the girl. So painful that she gets overwhelmed, screams like Joy did, and teleports away. Now Ronan has no choice but to return to Joy and continue the investigation. When they meet, Ronan tells Joy about the girl, so Joy looks up in her mother's book and finds a note about a survivor of Bell Killer, who is now in the mental hospital, so our not so numerous team is headed there. But before that, Ronan tells Joy to go first, cause he have something to do in the cemetery. That thing is visiting his wife's grave, and here he sees Rex, who came here in a grief.
I'm sorry, Juliet. I got some bad news. Don't worry, bro. She already knows.
But Ronan should move forward, and he does. The next stop is mental hospital. He tricks old lady at the reception, so she lets Joy pass. Then Ronan uses good old strategy with cameras and things to help Joy pass the security unseen. Though soon enough Ronan and Joy have to go their separate ways, cause one of the ways is blocked with metal doors and the other with ghostly doors. In Ronan's lonely journey through sealed part of the hospital, he finds the cat with enormously strong tail. so strong that the cat can hold itself on the tip of the tail without even trying. Okay, back to the plot. After fighting some demons, Ron gets to the place as well as Joy, and they finally find the survivor. Her name is Iris, and I might say she's not in very good mental state to be honest. She's mumbling, drawing some symbols on the walls, telling to get away from her, so Ronan tries to possess Iris, but he cannot for some reason. So he decides to search up for clues in the room. Turns out that there were two girls, sisters, Iris and Rose. Bell Killer wanted to kill both of them, but Rose untied Iris while the killer was making a stake to burn them. Iris managed to escape because Rose distracted Bell Killer, and Iris had enough time to run away. But she saw how Rose was burned alive, and that had broken her. When Ronan tells it to Joy, Iris starts screaming on them, and after that we see why Ronan couldn't possess the girl earlier. She has already been possessed by Rose, who is ready to protect sister with her afterlife. Anyways, Ronan persuades Rose and Iris to help him to find Bellkiller, and now all four of them leave the hospital. In a dialogue with girls, Ronan asks himself where he has seen the stake like that before, and by flashbacking the memories, he remembers the exhibition advertisement that accidentally fell off Joy's mother's book. On this ad, there was the same stake that Bellkiller built up to burn the girls. So now Ronan sends girls in the church and decides to go to the museum where this exhibition takes place. The exhibition here is an interesting place with the witch trial show, torture devices from that time, the gallows which contains memories of Abigail, specifically the memories of her execution through the gallows. Also here Ronan finds other things about Bellkill's murders, a stake like one that Rose was murdered, a chair tied to a tree, and a bunch of stones where Ronan flashbacks to someone's murder under these stones. After seeing this, Ronan concludes that Bellkiller murders all his victims like witches in medieval times. Going further in the museum, Ronan sees Joy sneaking in through the window. He tells Joy about his finds and they both go in an archive for further investigation. There Ronan sees Baxter's flashback. He has been in the museum earlier and has hidden a painting with Bellkiller's sign. Also here Ronan finds out that all of the victims were mediums. And who was interested in mediums? Baxter. Cause he hid the book, hid the painting, was looking for Joy after Ronan died. So now Baxter is a prime suspect. Ronan tells Joy to go to the church for her safety while he is going to visit Baxter. But after another fight with demons, when Ronan finally steps off the museum, he sees that police is headed to the church, which means something happened there, and he needs to find out what exactly happened. When Ronan approaches the church, he sees Joy who tries to sneak inside, but she gets herself caught and Rex tells the other officers to lock her in the car. Well, it's better for her safety. In the church backyard, Ronan sees said view. Iris, the girl he freed from mental hospital, was murdered. Bellkiller pushed the statue onto her. Ronan takes a second to doubt himself, saying that if it wasn't him, then Iris would still be alive. But she appears behind him as a ghost and says it wasn't his fault, and disappears with Rose. Now two sisters are together again, though in a sad way. But Ronan has to go on with his investigation, so he goes upstairs and in one of the rooms there was a massacre. Turns out that Iris tried to escape the murderer and accidentally ran in the room where the wedding had taken place. Almost everyone got killed here, and Iris fell from the window where bad fate had cut her. Going further upstairs, Ronan sees dead priest. Rest in peace, you were a good one. He died trying to protect Iris, but here Ronan figures out that the killer came here to find Joy. And from the kitty's memories, he sees that the killer dropped something in a vent. That's a key to the killer's hideout. And Ronan knows what this house is, the Judgment House. And that is where Ronan will go now. On leaving the church, Ronan approaches Joy, who is sitting in a locked car, and tells her all that happened in the church. Joy asks to free her, but Ronan convinces her that it's the best for her to stay with the police, cause Bellkiller has come here after her. Surprisingly, Joy agrees, and Rex drives her away. At the entrance of Judgment House, police car is parked, and one of the rooms of the house is lit. Our prime suspect is here. The house itself looks abandoned and definitely needs some overhaul. In the lit room, Ronan finds Bellkiller's stuff like old newspapers, books about witchcraft, victims' names, and killing methods. Ronan sees that same methods of killing were used on different victims decades apart. But Ronan hasn't inspected the whole house yet. The basement remains untouched, and down there he finds Baxter. Well, at least what's left of him. Oh, beg your pardon. Here he is, but a little bit ghost. Ronan confronts Baxter about why he made all these murders. But the thing is, Baxter is not Bellkiller. In fact, he was killed by Bellkiller. Also, Baxter says that Joy's mom is in a safe place now, so that's at least one good news today. Though Ronan still needs to figure out who Bellkiller is. In the lower level of basement, Ronan sees another flashback. There, Abigail is being accused in false accusation in witchcraft and sentenced to death by hanging. In response, Abigail draws the Bellkiller sign and promises to make Bell toll for every witch in Salem. And yeah, Abigail is Bellkiller, and now she possesses Rex, who is with Joy. Good that Baxter heard Bellkiller said that tonight there's going to be Killer's death instrument, and as Ronan remembers, Abigail was hanged. The gallows was at the museum, so that's the right place. Ronan should hurry up. In the museum, Ronan sees how Abigail, in a body of Rex, wants to hang Joy. He is trying to convince her not to do it, but she's uncompromising. Abigail kills two cops who have come to save Joy, puts the rope on Joy's head, and moreover, she summons a demon trap right under Ronan to stop him. But our protagonist is not that simple. He escapes the trap, possesses Joy, and reminds her about a powerful scream she once used on him. This scream pushes Abigail out of Rex and makes her stunned for a second. This second is enough for Ronan to grab Abigail's hand so she cannot move, but as soon as he does it, he sees Abigail's memories and she decides to show him all the truth. She has used not only Rex to kill her victims, but Baxter as well, and even Ronan when he was alive. That's why the girl in the graveyard was so scared, and she was pointing not at the police badge, but at Ronan himself. And when Abigail shows it to Ronan, he starts doubting himself and let Abigail's hands go. She immediately summons another trap under Ronan, but he reacts fast enough and grabs Abigail into it as well. Eventually, Ronan manages to escape the trap, and Abigail, well, she's gone for good now. Joey is okay now, and the town is finally calm, thanks to Ghost Cop and 13-year-old Medium.
Hasn't been a Bell killer murder since the night Abigail met her final end. But the case never officially closed. But memories fade, time heals. With luck, Salem will move on and find peace. Death repays debts, my father always said. Forever I believe that. But truth be told, this life ain't over until you're honest about what you owe. Set everything right. Settle your debts. Only then can you move on.
Ronan?
So, that was the plot of Murdered Soul Suspect. What can I say? Well, it's kinda cool story for a couple of evenings if you want something chill and interesting. It's easy, understandable, and has a decent plot. Maybe this game is a bit too old for average gamer now, but it has a lot to entertain the player. Characters are well written, side quests are okay, music is awesome and come on, you can play as cat. Though it's still point and click most of the time, cause game even have mercy on you if you fail, and it's pissing me off a bit. Like, they did 3 lives in every investigation, but if you fail all 3 times, nothing happens and you can continue the task with 0 consequences. Overall, it's a great game for its time, and it still has something to show to the new generation of gamers despite the easiness and shortness. That's basically all I wanted to say. See you later, and I'm dropping the mic.